DeMoine Adams, who is the Chief Executive Officer of Teammates, is currently mentoring mentoring, which was started with co-founders Tom Osborne and Nancy Osborne in 1991. DeMoine is originally from Pine Bluff, Arkansas, and is a former University of Nebraska standout football player. He played an instrumental role in helping the Huskers win a Big 12 Conference Championship in 1999 and helped lead the Huskers to the National Championship Rose Bowl, January 2002. DeMoine also spent time in the NFL with the Green Bay Packers, Tennessee Titans, and San Francisco 49ers. As a first-generation student, DeMoine received his bachelor's degree from the University of Nebraska in political science with minors in English, history, communications, ethnic studies, and African studies. He went on to receive his master's degree in educational psychology and is currently pursuing his doctorate degree at the University of Nebraska. Well done. DeMoine also speaks numerous times each year across the country, motivating others to be winners in life through his business called The Game Plan, Ready, Set, Perform, which he started in 2011. DeMoine currently resides in Lincoln, Nebraska, and his motto in life is once you see where you're going, then everything you do must correspond with where you're going. His wife, Fara Adams, is an occupational therapy assistant who has spent over 20 years at Madonna Rehab Hospital treating patients with a wide range of diagnoses with a primary focus on spinal cord injuries. As a founding member and academic fieldwork coordinator of the Occupational Therapy Assistant Program at Union Adventist University, Fara is passionate about educating future OTAs, instilling in them both professional excellence and compassionate care. Her dedication to occupational therapy is also deeply personal. Her father is a pancreatic cancer survivor and served as a volunteer patient for her students, providing them with invaluable hands-on learning about the role of OT in cancer rehabilitation. Beyond her work in occupational therapy, Fara is a committed volunteer for the American Heart Association, serving as the chairperson of the 2025 Lincoln Heart Walk and advocating for legislation to require cardiac emergency response plans in Nebraska schools. She and her husband, DeMoine, recently celebrated their 10th wedding anniversary with a trip to France. Together, they have 4 children, including 2 at the University of Nebraska-Lincoln, 1 in middle school and 1 in elementary school. You're busy just like we are. In her free time, she loves supporting her kids in their activities and cheering them on in all they do. Today, they're going to share a very special and life-changing story, and while their story isn't about cancer, it is about how difficult a change can be. Please welcome DeMoine and Fara. Yep, absolutely.
All right. Well, hello everyone. Thank you. Good afternoon. My name is DeMoine Adams. No, I am not from Des Moines, Iowa. And this is my wife, Fara Adams. And yes, she is named after the actress from Charlie's Angels, Possible. And we just want to thank you for giving us the space to share our story of resilience survivorship. Before we continue, I always like to show a nice picture of our beautiful family, as Tracy introduced. I'll let my wife kind of go into more detail.
Yes, we can't leave out an opportunity to show off our wonderful kids that we love so much. And we also have another family member here today. My mom is here today, and she it gets better. She was a caregiver for my dad, who survived and beat pancreatic cancer. Wow. And they celebrated their 50th wedding anniversary last weekend. So.
Well, let's dive right into it, and we want you to we get the link figured out, how about those Huskers? You know, there was a young lady that was leaving up as I was standing up, and she tried to cover her Iowa Hawkeye. She's trying to cover it. But, you know, I am very excited about, of course, I'm biased to the football team. I am a little bummed that there is no spring game, but I totally understand why. As you all know, the game has changed, and whenever something gets put on the air, there's an opportunity for other teams to be able to look at our talent and try to take our talent, just like they did last year. So I understand the move. I didn't understand it at first, but I do believe in what Coach Rule and his staff are doing, and of course, once a Husker, always a Husker. So, and here is our story.
We've been really creative with the workarounds today, so give us just a moment. And while we're waiting on that, if anyone is watching any basketball, I just, instead of me telling you who I think is going to win the men's Final Four, I'll just show you the color. So I think this is who I think will at least be in the final. Is anyone drinking anything blue in here? I'm pretty sure they're going to go against a blue team. The women's is pretty tough, but just growing up playing sports, there's just something about sports that in anything and everything that I feel like I do. What works? Oh, here we go. Yes, it works. I will shut up.
You do a great job of filling in.
In Lincoln, as a 911 dispatcher meets the former Husker he helped save during a blizzard.
And DeMoine Adams is the CEO of the Teammates Mentoring Program. A dispatcher helped his wife perform CPR when Adams suffered a medical emergency earlier this month.
KETV Newswatch 7's Andrew Ozaki takes us inside the reunion this morning. Hi. You okay with that?
Oh, absolutely. Fara Adams meets dispatcher Joey Mims, the calm voice on the other end of a 911 call.
Appreciate so much everything that you did, your calm demeanor and your instructions were just such a relief in a time of panic.
Her husband is 44-year-old DeMoine Adams.
I am well and alive.
Awesome.
Yeah. So I just appreciate you for being on the line with my wife when my life was on the line, and it was a scary moment.
At 2 a.m. on January 13th, DeMoine, the CEO of Teammates Mentoring Program, felt tightness in his chest. When he got up, he became dizzy and collapsed. Fara heard him fall and called 911.
I had them on speakerphone and they could hear my husband gasping for air.
Mims talked her through CPR.
If we can get the blood moving, then we have an opportunity to keep the brain alive.
Fara is an occupational therapy assistant, but this is the first time she's ever performed a life-saving procedure.
That was, yes, very emotional. He said, I want you to count out loud so I can hear you. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4.
DeMoine was able to respond after a few minutes of compressions, just before paramedics arrived.
You got those guys to my house in, I think it was under 10 minutes,
Yeah.
in a blizzard.
It turned out to be a small blood clot on DeMoine's lungs, which is being treated with medication.
Because of you, like, we're all good.
Mims has been a dispatcher for about a year and a half. While he has talked several callers through CPR, it's rare he gets to meet them.
Appreciate you, and I'm glad that we could have this moment, because that means that there are days ahead.
In Lincoln, Andrew Ozaki, KETV, Newswatch 7.
I am so thankful for our resources that we have in our community. Our first responders, I mean, they are amazing. And I definitely was not alone that night. From the physical health I had to the spiritual health that I had at the time. So I will not forget those people, and I will not forget that night.
And again, we just want to thank Tracy, her family, and all of the support for putting together this incredible conference, right?
We've been learning stuff today, and I'm in the healthcare field, and I'm blown away at the resources that are here, the booths and the speakers. So yeah, it's been great day.
Yes. So about that night, leading up to this night, let me take you a week prior. Say we just celebrated New Year's, so there was a lot of excitement going into 2024. You know how we always set these new resolutions, and we're gonna do this, and I was still thinking about the trip that I made to Okolala. Now, I travel a lot, and so I am someone that is proud to not have to stop when I travel. So to drive from Lincoln, Nebraska to Okolala on a full tank, I was like, no, you're almost there. Don't stop, don't stop. I was so proud. And we're talking, 4 or 5 hours without stopping? Oh yeah, that was me. And then
The men are impressed, I can tell. That's it.
And then just all of the other things leading up to that week. And actually on Friday, January 12th, I had just did an interview with Gallup. And it was something that was getting ready to go international. So things were great. I was feeling like, I was doing some good. And then at 2 a.m. in the middle of the night on January 13th, I just woke up with some tightness in my chest. And so I thought I would get up and just maybe walk to the restroom to just kind of shake it out. Then all of a sudden, I found myself getting lightheaded and dizzy. And then that internal voice told me, DeMoine, you should probably turn around and go back and lay down. And that's all I remember.
I remember everything else after that. Because I was sound asleep, and he's not a small man. The sound of him hitting the floor in the middle of the night immediately got me up out of bed.
Hey, now, I'm not that big.
Yes, you are. So I hear this crash, and I turn on the lights, and I see my husband like I've never seen him before. It was terrifying. He's gasping for air. His eyes are huge, but I could tell there's nothing there. He has no idea what's going on. And that's when I called my angels, and I called 911, and they helped get us through those moments. And they were just amazing people, from the people that answered the phone to the people that came to our house and literally lifted my husband up off of the floor and took him to the hospital. From there, it was a mystery to everyone at Bryan. Why did this healthy man collapse and have 0 blood pressure, basically? Lots of tests were happening. They wondered if it were some old injuries, maybe CTE from all of those hits that he used to take and give back in the day. But after multiple tests, multiple blood draws, they discovered that he had a pulmonary embolism. Now, I'm in the healthcare field, so I definitely knew what that was. DeMoine did not know what that also, being in the healthcare field, hearing all of this language and the discussions that were taking place, although I knew these things, it was still so hard to process. And I kept thinking about, people that are not in the healthcare field receiving this information, how scary that has to be and how hard it has to be to understand everything, and I'm having a hard time understanding it. But we finally got our answer, which was terrifying because I knew what that was and I knew what could happen with that in his body. DeMoine, how did you take that information?
I had to Google what a pulmonary embolism was, and when unfortunately my wife had to go home that night, just being in a room, I was kind of in and out. So when I looked it up, it was scary the way that they defined it. At least 1/3 of an individual that gets it does not survive it. So here I am in the hospital wondering, am I going to survive this blood clot? I work out, I'm healthy, and so I just never ever imagined me, DeMoine Adams, receiving this blood clot.
Right. Definitely a lot to process for both of us.
Now, let me just make a correction. I'm the one that gave all of the hits back in the day. I play defense. I don't know what it feels like to get hit, okay?
Yeah, we know you never got touched out there.
I'm the one that gave the hits, okay? But let me just tell you, when we got out of the hospital, man, talk about correlating the game of football with the game of life. It felt like I got hit with bad news. It felt like I got tackled with discouraging results, and I got knocked down with something that was out of my control. And all of the things that I couldn't do, the things that I had to pause and just all of these visits, and it wasn't easy. Given that just last week, I'm someone that goes 200%. That's how I've been trained. That's how I've been conditioned. That's how I'm programmed, is to give it my all, especially in the position that I am, in my role with teammates mentoring. So it was really tough. But of course, on day 2, I just couldn't help myself. My wife went to work, and I was supposed to be at home, and there was something that was going on at the Capitol that I thought, let me just put on my suit, cover over this little heart thing that they had attached to my chest like I was Iron Man, and let me go to the Capitol and go hang out with Coach Osborne. Governor Pillen kind of talks about the importance of mentoring and all of this. Didn't think it was a big deal. It was in Lincoln. I was told not to travel long distance, so I figured from my house to the Capitol is less than 2 miles. So I thought I would go in there. Coach was a little surprised to see me, but he wasn't complaining. And we sat at the top. So I figured, we're there, we're listening, and I would sneak out and go back home. And so, of course, I'm thinking that, and I take off my suit, I put on my clothes, and I'm back on the couch when my wife gets home. And guess what she shows me when I get home?
Yeah, he was on the news. I said, you are terrible at sneaking around. Okay? You go to the Capitol, meet with Coach Tom Osborne and Governor Pillen, and you think, no one's going to see this. Yeah.
So that's when, of course, I not only had to listen to the boss and not go anywhere, but the road for recovery was not easy. And for me to have to somewhat take a pause on everything, the way that I've been trained, the way that I've been conditioned, now I have to recondition and reprogram myself to do things that are not normal, wasn't easy, psychologically and emotionally. I began to question myself. I began to wonder, will I ever be able to lift weights like I used to? Will I be able to run? Will I be able to travel? The things they were asking me to do, such as to walk every day. And walking, it just seemed meaningless at the time. And then there were times when they wanted me to wear compression socks, you know, just to make sure that no blood clots were formed in the legs, because as a strong man, they said that the blood clot could have formed through your legs and worked its way up to your lungs if you didn't pay attention to it. Well, of course, I'm someone that has been immune to pain. And so, you know, if my body felt pain, I pushed through it. Why? Because as a strong man, that's just what we do. So it was really hard, emotionally and psychologically, with all of the doctor visits, going to the Cancer Partners of Nebraska. And I didn't have cancer, but yet here I am going to see this doctor, and this doctor, and this doctor, and this doctor. And it was discouraging, because I went from doing everything, and there were many days where I didn't want to do anything. And they were asking me to do these things, and many days I didn't want to do nothing, because it felt like I have been not just humbled, but I felt like I lost everything. And it was really hard for me to really turn that corner, because when I think of resilience, it's the ability to recover after you've been hit. And so this was a really tough hit for me to recover. And it wasn't easy for me. And I know it was not easy for my wife, because the way that I was trying to make this transition as this strong man that could do everything, and now I was asked to only do a few things, and many days I didn't want to do nothing. It was different for my wife.
Yes, it was a lot different. To go to a place where I have to kind of manage my husband. Not used to doing that. And having to make sure that he's okay. Which was, you know, a completely different role for us to experience. Talking about the emotional, the PTSD part that comes along with this. I'm sure yours is hearing the diagnosis. Mine was seeing my husband like that and just reliving that moment over and over. I'd wake up in the middle of the night and I would hear the dispatcher, put your hands in the middle of his chest and count out loud. And just replaying that over and over in my mind, and I just had to tell myself, you have the very best outcome. All of this happened at the perfect time. Reassuring myself that, yes, that was terrible, but we made it through. And it all worked out in the best possible way that it could. And also, I had to learn, you know, I'm supporting him, but I have to let people support me too, right? That night at 3 o'clock in the morning, school was canceled the day before. It was a mess outside. 3 o'clock in the morning, I go outside, I'm walking the medics with him to the ambulance, and my neighbors are outside fully dressed. They saw the lights and they came over. Fara, what do you need from us? What can we do? Nothing, I don't need anything, thank you. You know, because I didn't want help. I didn't need help. The next day they called, we're bringing food over. No, that's not necessary. They texted me and said, your kids have been fed, relax, stay at the hospital, you can't do all of this. And they were right. I had to learn that I needed support also, and it's okay to take that. People want to help you, it makes them feel good to help you, and I needed to let that happen.
Just say thank you.
And speaking of health, you know, it was overwhelming for me, because everyone wanted to help us, which was great. You know, while we were in the hospital, Coach Osborne found out that I was in the hospital, and so he was on the phone with my wife. Our program board chairman at the time, Dr. Deepak Gankahar, that was his specialty. And so, you know, he's trying to give her advice, talking to the doctors. Everyone was trying to help us and help me. And I didn't want to do nothing. And there was a part of me that didn't really take it serious. It was like, you know, is this really happening? Like, we just got into 2024. And I know for my wife, you know, she was checking up on me, and you know, at times, keep in mind, I don't remember a whole lot, but she remembered and saw something that I would probably never experience. But here's what humbled me. You know, I asked the dispatcher, can I get a recording of the tape? I want to be able to hear what my wife had to go through. Because I felt like I needed to take this thing serious. This thing called life, and how to be resilient. How can I recover? How can I, you know, create this new norm? Because, you know, norms are created with a thought. And then once you sow that thought, you reap a behavior. And once you keep sowing that behavior, you reap a new habit. And once you keep sowing that habit, you reap a lifestyle. And if you keep living that lifestyle, then it becomes a destiny. I needed to go in a new direction. Once I heard that tape, once I heard what my wife had to go through, and hearing myself just barely just trying to survive, that was the game changer. That's when I began to slowly get back up from getting hit, from getting toppled, from getting knocked down. And I began to start these behaviors that you can see on the screen. To walk every day, it was humbling. But over time, there were so many benefits because I was able to not only just be able to think, but it allowed me to really, really be grateful that here I am today. Because what if this would have happened when I was in Oklahoma? What if this would have happened the following week when I was scheduled to fly out to DC for 4 days? If I wasn't at the house, and to have my wife to do CPR on me, I wouldn't be here today. And so I was reminded as I was taking those walks, my why, because when we have strong reasons, it weakens excuses. And so the excuse of me walking, the excuse of me just doing what the doctors are telling me to do. You can lift DeMoine, but you can't be lifting 400 pounds like you used to, all right?
They had to be told that at age 44. You can't bench 400 pounds.
And then after a month, I was given a green light to at least drive to Omaha because I still have
I
to.
still don't know if that was true.
But here's what I do know is true. These compression socks that they have me to wear, they feel like pantyhose. I can keep going up if you want. But all humbling, but yet it was worth it. Why? Because my wife is worth it. My family is worth it. My life is worth it. And all of these things that you can see, these are all things that became a part of my new norm because I wanted to survive. And to survive, sometimes you have to do the little things to tackle a big thing. And this pulmonary embolism, it was a big thing. And it took a year, at least, on blood thinners and so many other things until I have been able to stand up here with confidence, knowing that so far we're in the clear. But I still do these things. And I can't help but to think about the good old days, right? When the Huskers were good. And those days when I could lift, not 400 pounds, but 500 pounds. You know, I was able to get this lift of the year trophy, which goes to the strongest football player on the team. Now, of course, you know, they say there is no I in team, but there is an I in win. And so, of course, there was this personal responsibility for me to get up and to push myself and to really be the best that I could be by winning the day. But I was strong by doing things that I needed to do, but what made me stronger was when I allowed others to help me. Those spotters that would be on one end, and on one end, whether I'm squatting or I'm bench pressing, So what really made me the lifter of the year was not only how much I could lift, but how much others around me helped me to lift. They were the ones that helped me to get bigger, better, and stronger. And so, of course, from meeting with my doctors, and just understanding what it takes to be the lifter of my life, it takes life spotters, like my family, the community, and all of the doctors that I was seeing. And being able to go to see doctors on a monthly basis, I had to really, really retrain and recondition what I define a strong man meant. That didn't make me weak to go to doctors. It didn't make me weak to sit next to real cancer patients who were really going through something. Having those conversations with cancer patients made me stronger because they encouraged me. Being able to actually go home and lay next to my wife, to see my kids, those are the things that helped me to get through. I needed those spotters. At the time, I didn't think that I needed them. But if there is anyone in here, and maybe you are going through something, to get through what you're going through, you need people. Because the best things in life are not things. The best things in life are people. And what makes you the lifter of your life is when you allow people that want to help you to be stronger. Maybe you think that you're strong because you've been able to do things by yourself for so long, and maybe you're choosing not to do certain things. But to get stronger, it takes a team. And that's what today is all about. It's the teamwork and the hard work that helps us to be resilient survivors. And I'm so grateful that not only for the incredible people like my wife, doctors, and even the Cancer Partners of Nebraska, so many people have spotted me throughout this journey for me to be able to share my story of resilient survivorship. And going back to those other people that my wife mentioned, we are a family of faith. And I do believe that there were angels that night of January the 13th. I do believe that my strength has been renewed because of my faith in Jesus Christ, who I do all things through him who gives me strength, as Philippians 4:13 says. And so I say all that to say a new norm has been formed. A renewal of my strength has been formed. It wasn't easy, but it is doable. And that is what I feel resiliency is. And so I am grateful for my wife. And so as we transition to this new norm, I know for my wife, she too has been able to adapt to this new norm because this is how it feels for me when it comes to making sure that what makes me stronger is to have those spotters in my life. But for my wife, it's a little different.
Right. Still just kind of remembering all of those people that, not just that night, but the days afterwards. Still coming over, checking in on us, bringing food for us, having food sent to us, helping me navigate through the medical piece of it. And just like I said before, being able to accept all of that from other people, it took this huge weight off of me. And just feeling that love from the community and our friends and our family, and I still feel it, and I won't ever forget what everyone else did to help support us and lift us up and be our spotters during that time.
So if you look on your program, the theme is to bring the cancer survivor community together. When I think of that, I can't help but to think about the Husker motto, day by day, getting better and better. A team that can't be beat won't be beat. We have some cancer survivors in this room. We have some individuals that are currently going through cancer. And we have some individuals that you may be going through something right now. And I can say from confidence that I am standing in front of you today because of the incredible team that has allowed me to be able to be a survivor. But it takes day by day. Let me encourage you, day by day. Having cancer is a big thing. But to tackle cancer when you feel like you've been tackled, it takes the little things, day by day. And it was the little things that I had to do to turn that curve so that I can be able to overcome something that was a big thing, but the little things matter. You're not alone. Lean on those spotters, lean on those individuals so that you can be the lifter of your life. Because remember, it's not just you that you're living for. You're living for something bigger, something more. There are so many people that love and care about you. Because remember, the best things in life are not things. The best things in life are people. And so what better way to remind us of why we're here than by having all of you to please stand? As we wrap up this pep talk, again, this is our story. Because without my wife being a part of this story, I would not be here today. And I want to thank Tracy and just everything that she has been doing, her belief, but also her heart work that she is put into making sure that we all have this sense of resiliency. In this game called life, we all get tackled, we all get hit, we all get knocked down. That's a part of the game. That doesn't mean that we stay down. That's why we need others in our life to be those spotters, to keep us in the game, to be those fans and those cheerleaders that we all need. So repeat after me, day by day. Day by day. Getting better and better. Getting better and better. A team that can't be beat. A team that can't be beat. Won't be beat. Won't be beat. Someone is getting excited about that. So we're going to do it one more time. We're going to do it one more time. We're going to do it like we mean it. I want this to come from the heart, and then once we're done, I want us to say survivorship on 3. All right? Are you guys ready to do it like you mean it? All right. Day by day.